What's up, guys? This is Justin from the Board Game Losers, and we're here with an unboxing of this little baby from Leader Games. It's a game by Coerly, Oath, Chronicles of Empire and Exile. So this is a very different game, and just a little bit of backstory for this as far as from my perspective. I saw this played on a preview of it on another channel. I was always interested in it because it is Leader Games. Root, right? Vast, but Root is what I have loved the game. Don't play it a lot, but I do love it. And so I saw this, and I was very intrigued. And I looked at the art. I watched the first part of the playthrough, and I was kind of like, I just didn't know. I just didn't know if it was really going to be for me or not. And so I had intended to back it, and I did, and then I kind of changed my mind. I ended up dropping the pledge, and I was like, Well, the more I thought about it, I was like, I think just because it's Leader Games, I think I'm going to give it a go later on, even though I still wasn't sure. So it did finally come, and I watched another playthrough later on, and this really it spoke to me differently. I don't really know what changed in the time that I originally saw it and the end. But what is Oath? So this is one of the things that I really love is I like long campaign games. I need to play more of them on the channel. And so this is what this is. But the interesting thing about Oath is it's not just like a series of scenarios, right? It's not like your typical campaign where you got a series of scenarios, or like in Kingdom Deathmatch where you got lantern years and you have some pre-scripted things that happen. This is very different. So in this game, you have kind of the main person that starts out who's the ruler of the lands, and you play through, and there is a there are mechanics and a kind of a timer, and there's some point in the game will end. But the thing is, when it ends, whoever's in charge, it helps build the next game. So it's really almost like a sandbox that never ends. It's a chronicle of empires and exiles. So you have the empire, and then you have the exiles that are trying to take back the empire from the ruler. And so you play through this, and in the end, whoever wins make some decisions about what goes into the deck, which sort of represents the world, right? So you're going to be taking cards out, and then you're going to be picking a faction, and you're going to be added into the deck. And there's not a ton of cards in the game. I mean, there's a lot of cards, but there's not like, a bajillion cards. And so that is going to inform the next game, right? And whoever wins, whatever lands they controlled, will go in and be kind of the starting lands for the ruler in the next game. And so it's just a very neat way of doing kind of like a chronicle, kind of like a campaign, but it's very open-ended. It's really, and this is the part that I think I'm definitely intrigued by, but I'm kind of curious as to how well this is going to play out. Is that it's this open-ended sandbox. There's not really an end to the story, so I'm curious. I've never really tried, because one of the things that you're going to find in here is that it's going to want you to kind of like chronicle out. Really, this whole thing is about narrative, right? So the point of the game, really where it shines and its intent, is for you to write the story, right? To tell the story. So there's some things in here that are going to help you do that. So that's enough of kind of about the game. Let's see what's in the box. I'm super excited about the components because I know what to expect, but I have not looked at this intentionally, and it's been really really tough. So here's some reference cards. Right, so here's your reference cards that give you how to do the campaign. Iconography tells you about the cards themselves. All this sort of thing, exhaustion, So that's cool. Chronicles of Empire and Exile, Oath, the Law of Oath. So this is the rule set, right? It's going to tell you how to set everything up. It's going to give you all the details on the actions, powers, writing, technical rules. I like this, right? It's hard to see, but look at that. Must, if able. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Chronicles summary. So this is this side is the clockwork print. So this is a 1-to-4 player. So if you do want to do this solo, you can do that to tell that story. So if you're a narrative person, this is going to be super important to you. So this is going to tell you about the clockwork prints, and then this side, yeah, tells you how to set up everything for the campaign. So that's how to do the solo. So that's cool. Chronicle summary. Clockwork prints is mine. Tells you how to do all that. Path priority. And this chronicle summary, this is how you're going to, at the end of the game, when you're completed, this is how you're going to rebuild the world so that in the next subsequent game, you have new sites, you have new relics, you have new cards that make the world deck, that sort of thing. This book, one of the cool things about this book is it's going to tell you how to play the game, right? So this is something that Leader has done in other games. This is going to actually walk you through a very detailed thing. It's going to tell you what's in the box, but it's going to show you, it's going to teach you how to play it. And I don't know a ton here, but essentially what the way that it's teaching you is it's kind of teaching you in very different ways. It's got a lot of technical stuff and it's got a lot of visual stuff. So depending on your learning style, they've really tried to make this book friendly both ways. Also, you'll notice that they reference these card packs. So they have these packets of cards that you're going to use, and the first time you play, these card packs are already set up, they're already in order, they have everything in the order that you need to do it. And as you flip through those cards and lay it out, it's going to step you through the setup and tell you what exactly to do with the cards. And then you go through each one of these packets, okay, until you get it set up. And then it's going to go through, it's going to show you all the details, give you some generalities about some basic concepts, and then it's going to go through the specifics of the actions, right? And then it's going to walk you through a detail. I mean, look at this detail. This is walking you through the Chancellor's Turn, and it's explaining to you why you're doing what you're doing, right? So there's the Chancellor, then there's the red player, red exile, blue exile, yellow exile, right? And then some more details about conspiracies, right? So it is, just saying, it is super, super detailed. So it's a good way to learn. So now let's go to components. Lots of components here. Now, this is the Kickstarter version, which is important to note because what you see here, right, these are the secrets. This is the favor. These are cardboard. In this box is also wooden pieces for the secrets and metal pieces, right, actual coins for the favor. So if you get the non-Kickstarter version, you'll just get this. You won't get those pieces. But this is going to be part of the base, right? So we have these favor coins. We have the secrets. And then, whoa, did it already fall out? It's good cardboard. We have the oath. So there's different oaths. These are basically game-ending conditions. The imperial. Oh my God, I can't say it. Imperial reliquary. So this is what the Chancellor is going to start out with, and this is going to be how you can instead of being an exile and trying to dethrone the chancellor, there's a point where you can choose to instead help the chancellor become a citizen, and he can give you these relics that are going to give you powers. And then your goal, instead of trying to depose the chancellor, then becomes helping to keep the chancellor in power. Okay, that's just bound and determined to come out. What else we got here? Okay, yeah. So we've got these tiles. So what these tiles are going to do? These right here. This is going to help you separate your decks in here, which we'll look at in a minute. You got some more oaths. So there's different ones, right? For oaths, 4 different oaths. Whoever's the oath keeper at the time. There's some banners that are some more in-game conditions. And then here are the player boards. So you have the Chancellor, and it's very much like in Root where you have your order of operations here, right? So wake, then here's what all your acts, the actions that you can do, and then all the minor actions you can do, and then what you do at the end of the day, what you start with right here, and all those sorts of things. So one side is the Chancellor. The other side, this is the Clockwork Prince. So this is if you're doing solo. Okay, so that's what's going to go over here. And then all of the rest of these players, you're going to notice they say Exile, right? So Exiles, different colored Exiles. But on the back side of all these, you have Citizen. Okay, and this is what I was saying, where I was saying that, hey, these guys are going to be, you're going to be trying to help the Clockwork Prince. So if you oppose him, you'll be playing with this side, and then at some point in time, if it switches, you flip this over. Well, now you've got a different set of things that you can do, and how you interact with the prince, and that sort of thing. And I'm going to assume maybe that if you're playing multiple players, like you play with 3 players, or I don't know, but probably the citizens have to do with how many other people play too. Okay, where to start next? Gosh, there's so much stuff. Well, let's set this up. Let's set this up. Let's move that out of the way. We'll set this to the side here in a second, but this is going to be pretty awesome. So this is the map. This is the game map. This is the world you're going to be playing in. Alright, so this is the map. And so this is where your world is happening, right? So you've got these locations, the cradle, the province, the hinterlands. You got locations within that specific place. You've got ways to move from place to place, right? You have several different tracks. This is where you keep up with favor for all the different. The cards are suits, but really they represent factions. This is how all that plays out down here. So what all we got in here? So we've got baggies, of course. And then we've got, let's move this back up. Then we get this box. So this is the world box. All right. So what is this? What is the world box? So this is where your cards are going to represent everything in the world. This is where your factions. This is going to represent all the stuff that you have access to during a game. It's going to go in this box. So you can put this together, and you're going to put all those in it. And this is the box that'll hold the cards that'll change from game to game. They have this little book. It's a Chronicle book, which is this is where you're going to write if you want to go do the narrative, right? So if you want to write the story, aka the chronicle, if you will, of what you've done, then this is where you can do it. So you have this book, you have these pages, right? Pretty neat. Record of victory. It's like 100 pages almost. So that's in there. You have, oh gosh, Lordy mercy, what to start with. Well, let's do this. So here's the packet. So remember I said there's going to be packets. I'm not going to open these up, but here's a packet that's going to walk you through everything that you do. So you have packet A, you have packet C. You probably have somewhere, yeah, packet B, and then what they call stuff. So these are all the packets that you're going to need. ABC, archive. So this is gonna correspond to this book, because you remember packet A, packet B, packet C. Okay. Then you have just some regular cards here. We'll look at these in a second. You have a whole bunch of meeples. Look in a second. So the first thing you have is you got these dice. These are custom dice for attack and defense. So you got several of those. The interesting thing about these dice is, so the attack you have, like this face is 2 hits, but you lose somebody. Then you have these sides that are empty. These are actually half hits. On your defense dice, you got sides that are 1. Well, is there 3 sides that are blank? There's 2 sides. Alright, so there's 2 sides that are just completely blank. You got a 1 hit, a 2 hit, another 1 hit. One, two, three. Huh. And then you got a ×2. And this ×2 all the other dice. So if you rolled something like this, that would be 2 × 2, 4 × 2, that's 8. So it's definitely, I think defending can be, I don't want to say swingy, but it's very interesting, especially when you have things like half hits, right? But then of course you have these others, but this is how you're going to be losing your war bands, which could be good, could be bad. There. And of course we have all of our factions. So each faction has their own colored meeples. I'm going to have some markers here. So this is trackers for your secrets, right? You got some player pieces. This is what you're going to use on your player board. They're going to scoot here on this track for your supply. And then you have all of the war bands that each player has that you're going to draw from. That's going to be your supply. And depending on how many of those you use that are in your bag, then that's going to be kind of how many actions you have. So the more war bands you put out, the fewer actions you're going to have. Because if you see here, you see 18 plus. If he's got 18 plus, he gets all these actions. But if he's got 3 to 0, he only gets this many actions to spend. So kind of a dynamic of how much do you have out on the board versus how much you can do. So you have to kind of play that out. I guess that's it. Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. What I am curious to see, because I don't see it, I did not see it initially in this, is how to put this in the box. This is something I wish they would they would do. Of course, they're not doing it. That's like how to play, but that's not. Anything to do with putting all this stuff back in the box. Interesting. Don't think any of these other documents show any of that. I'm fairly certain that they don't. Let's see. This is just setup, sequence play, details on actions. Yep. No. No. Does not show that. Huh. Interesting. So I don't know. I mean, I'm going to assume be good or bad. Oh, those don't fit there. They don't fit there. Oh, these go in the world box, of course. I guess this is like favor and I don't know. I have to look it up. But yeah, okay. So that is everything for Oath: Chronicles of Empire and Exile by Leader Games. It's going to take a bit to learn, I think. Not that it's necessarily hard, but just to take a bit to learn. And I will probably do this with the solo, so the Clockwork Prince, which I do appreciate that is included in the base. Because that was the other thing about this is I was excited about it initially, and I didn't think it was going to be single player because of the way that the game was described. But in the end, they did include that, so I think that's going to be very neat. And yeah, I think that's everything. Remember that? Oh no, that is not everything. You know what we didn't do? We didn't look at these. So these two things. These guys, and this detail is ridiculous. First of all, these are. I think they're resin. I don't think they're wood. But these replace the cardboard tokens. I mean, look at that. Like you can see the book binding. Let's see a little better like that. You can see the individual pages there. So that's going to replace those tokens we saw originally, and then these coins are going to replace those coins. But look at that. Both sides get the clink going on, but they've been like washed. So neat. There's a Chancellor side, and then there's like this little heart deal. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. But again, this and this, I do not believe are included in, well, they're not included in the retail version. Everything else that you see, I believe, is included in the retail version. These are not. So that is all the contents for the Kickstarter version of Oath. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. Hope you have a happy game. You get out and play some games. I am Justin from the Board Game Losers, and I will see you, my friends, in the next video. Bye, guys.